To many gamers, the name Capcom is synonymous with fighting games. The Capcom fighting dynasty spans over 2 decades, but the key event was the release of a little gem called Street Fighter II in 1991.
Street Fighter II came to prominence in the early 90s. It came in just as the arcade scene was dying off and really changed the model entirely. It was the classic 2-man enter, 1-man leaves, and it was an exciting experience because basically, like, if you beat me, you're taking my money.
A parade of updates and spin-offs followed, culminating in Super Street Fighter II Turbo. The Street Fighter Alpha series began in 1995,
Street Fighter Alpha!
introducing many new fighters and making super combo moves a more integral part of gameplay.
As they went from Alpha 1 to Alpha 2 to Alpha 3, they added more and more mechanics and more crazy combos. And from there, we went on to a Versus series with an X-Men versus Street Fighter. And X-Men Children of the Atom was sort of the first one that had these crazy mechanics where you could fly all over the place and do these really over-the-top super moves. And chain combos where you could just tap 1, 2, 3 buttons and they would all combo into each other.
The resulting Versus series reached its zenith in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, still a staple of fighting tournaments the world over.
Go!
By the late 90s, the arcade scene was fading fast. One of the last great arcade fighters was the long-awaited Street Fighter III, released in 1997. The third iteration, Third Strike, was not a mainstream hit, but the hardcore community embraced it.
It was considered by many the apex of that level of intricacy. For the people that were students of the game, it was really delightful. It was really an exciting and engaging experience.
In 2009, 10 years after Third Strike, Capcom single-handedly resurrected the fighting genre with the release of Street Fighter IV.
When Street Fighter 4 came out, it brought back everyone together. It brought everyone back to life. Like, all the retired players that supposedly retired came back to play this game competitively.
Super Street Fighter IV has now become the main event at the EVO Championships and the upcoming Marvel vs. Capcom 3 looks to guarantee Capcom's continued dominance of the newly reborn genre.
Capcom's been very excited about the success. They pioneered the fighting genre, and we've brought it back in a glorious way, so I think we want to try and ride the wave and push it in exciting new directions and hopefully have some surprises and some good news for fighting fans pretty soon.
All right, here I go!
Most fighting games on the Wii seem to be confused by its unique controller. The Naruto franchise has decided to forego any thought of using the controller for their new game, Naruto Clash of Ninja Revolution, by including support for both the Wii Classic and the original GameCube controller. So, why would this game be released on the Wii, you ask? Beats me. That's like asking, why do they keep making Naruto games in the first place? Why did people still buy them? When did ninjas start wearing orange jumpsuits?
Here goes nothing, pervy sage!
A better question is, what is a pervy sage? Firstly, you don't have completely free movement around the 3D stages. However, the game features a sidestep button that lets you dodge in and out of the screen to combat from different angles. The special transformation moves are still here, so it does make for multiple options for creative defense, which makes the head-to-head game a lot deeper than you might expect.
What did you just do?
Another nice touch is the multi-tiered stages, along the lines of what we've seen in the Dead or Alive series. Knock an opponent off the appropriate edge, and they'll fall into a new section of the fighting arena, with a cool cinematic transition animation in between.
Whatever you do is useless.
However, the game doesn't look very different from a 2003 GameCube version. The character lineup limps along with an unimpressive 20 fighters available.
You know everyone's weakness, right?
So if you want a Wii game that doesn't utilize the controller, has only semi-improved graphics, and a paltry lineup of fighters with a high price tag of $50, then by all means, buy this game. Otherwise, buy a used copy of Clash of the Ninjas. The good news is, Naruto doesn't say believe it 1,000 times.
Believe it!
Naruto Clash of the Ninja Revolution believes a 2
Nice try!
out of 5.
All right, pal, your bullying ends here and now!
Those face-melting guitar riffs can only mean one thing. Guilty Gear.
Let's rock!
That's right. The fighting franchise a lot of gamers would consider the best in the biz is back, and this time it's looking to get all up in your PSP's game hole. Unlike the previous games in the franchise, Guilty Gear Judgment is not a pure fighter. It's a side-scrolling beat-em-up like Golden Axe or Final Fight. Oh, 1980s, where did you go? We miss you. How come you never call anymore? Is it difficult? No. Is it interesting? Of course not. Is it good as far as side-scrolling beat-em-ups go? Now, before you fly off the handle because we reamed Guilty Gear, hold on. Because Guilty Gear Judgment is actually 2 games in 1. Yes, throw down cash for Judgment and you'll get Guilty Gear Reload X2 absolutely free. The classic fighter is finally available on the PSP, and it's still awesome. But we already knew that. So let's get back to the crappy side-scroller. Oh, did I ruin the surprise? As expected, the graphics have suffered on the jump to the PSP, and the perspective has been tweaked, which leads to some of the action being cut off. True gearheads will be happy to know that the heavy metal soundtrack is still around, and that means every single level sounds like this.
Let's rock!
Instead of this. All right, that's enough of the public domain Bryan Adams sound-alike.
Let's rock!
So, let's sum it all up. Kinda boring, not so difficult side-scrolling beat-em-up on its own, not a great game. Kinda boring, not so difficult side-scrolling beat-em-up that comes with a free version of the classic 2D fighter we all know and love, a pretty great game. Again, side-scroller, bad. Side-scroller plus fighter, good. Guilty Gear Judgment gets a 4 out of 5.
Guilty Gear universe has now moved to the DS with... Somebody please turn that music down. What? No, I said turn it down. Turn that damn music down. Thank you. Oh, come on, hold on. I'll fix this. There, that's much better. As I was saying, the Guilty Gear universe has moved to the DS with Guilty Gear Dust Strikers. Okay, just keep it down. Dust Strikers gives the Guilty Gear franchise a facelift, but sometimes it's better to leave well enough alone. Gone are the concentrated one-on-one battles fought on a single plane. Now each stage is tiered to make use of the DS's dual-screen action, and most battles are fought with 4 characters at a time. But even in such a freewheeling brawl, you can find a loner.
I'm kind of scared of heights. I'll just hang out down here.
Aw, poor puppy. Ew. The format of the battle isn't the only thing that's been altered. The game's controls have been simplified to accommodate the limitations of the DS. The 4 attack buttons have been pared down to 2, 1 for quick attacks and 1 for power attacks. A 3rd button allows for the game's special Dust Strike attack, eliminating the need for the DS's unforgiving D-pad moves. But it's the schizophrenic nature of converting this game to a handheld that keeps it from greatness. If they had stayed tried and true to the original game style, they would have made a good game. If they had made a multiplayer party game like Dust Striker so desperately wants to be, they would have made a good game. However, not sticking to one path leads to everything being average. It's like how Simon and Garfunkel would have been better without all the Garfunkel.
As a protector of public safety, I can't let such hateful words pass.
We added voiceover to spice up their story mode.
What's all this talk about? Even the police are here. Maybe I should get at... No! Happiness! Hatred! Hatred!
But it still doesn't make any sense. The game does also feature some really fun and really awful mini-games. She's holding up cats. Guilty Gear Dust Strikers guilts us into a 3 out of 5.
The slash-happy adventures of Haomaru and friends has enjoyed a long and storied history, and the legacy continues with Samurai Showdown 5. It's not as high-profile as Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, but Samurai Showdown qualifies as one of the classic fighting franchises.
Victory!
Samurai Showdown 5 plays much the same as Samurai Showdowns 1 through 4. 2 fighters, 2 weapons, 2D. Standard versus fighting with no frills, although a decent online mode is a welcome addition. It wouldn't be an SNK game without some touches of the bizarre, of course, mixed in with the traditional samurai types of characters like Kusarigado, an overgrown mutant who looks like a refugee from Ghostbusters. It's really hard to get past how archaic Samurai Showdown 5 looks. The character animation is ancient. The background's about 5 frames of animation if they're lucky. The announcer doesn't even know what the on-screen text says.
Engage!
Yeah, I think that says on guard, sir.
Engage!
I really think they're missing some opportunities with this series. I always thought Samurai Showdown sounded more like some kind of game show.
It's Samurai Showdown, the game show where you either win big or lose face. And now your host, Brock Nathanson.
Welcome back to Samurai Showdown. We're about to start sudden death between Hanzo and reigning champion Musashi. All right, I'll ask a question. You buzz in if you know the answer. The first one to get a question wrong is out. And let's tell them what the remaining contestant will win.
It's a brand new toy car.
Wow. All right, here we go. Samurai, ready on your buzzers, please. Who was the first samurai to use the Rising Sun insignia? Hanzo. Ashikaga is correct. Next, in 1592, a conflict known as the Japanese-Korean War I will finish the question. It began with an invasion masterminded by whom? No, I'm sorry. The answer is Hideyoshi Toyotomi Musashi. You're out. That's another sudden death round in the books. See you next time on Samurai Showdown. Stay apart.
Much like the game show, Samurai Showdown 5 hasn't really evolved with the times. It's certainly competent, but unless you're a fan of experiencing outdated gameplay over Xbox Live, we have to serve up a 2 out of 5.
Conclusion.
Blaze Blue Continuum Shift is the second entry in Axis Games' HD 2D fighting series. The main objective for Continuum Shift is to solve the balance problems of the first game and to add a bit of new content, and it seems to succeed in both departments. For the most part, the fighting system is unchanged. Blaze Blue is still the spiritual successor to Guilty Gear, with incredibly offense-based gameplay and plenty of flashy visuals. Several new characters have joined the cast, with more planned for addition through DLC. There's a substantial focus on single-player content. Newbies can get a full briefing in the exceptional tutorial mode.
I shall do my best to use small words, in hopes that some of this information may permeate that echoing cavern you consider your mind.
In a twist brought over from the PSP game, Legion mode has you building an army of characters to conquer an abstract grid of territories. It's like a fighter crossed with a really rudimentary form of Risk. It's weird, but it works surprisingly well. A lengthy and very talky story mode covers the narrative of the game, which suffers from almost every anime cliche in the book rolled into one turgid ball of I don't care. Clicking through 45 minutes of juvenile, poorly written, and goofily voiced cutscenes to get to 6 or 7 single-round CPU fights is not my idea of a good time. So, you have 2 paths to salvation. Find a nearby friend who's as into hardcore fighters as you are, or partake in online shenanigans. The online play is as solid as ever, so even friendless folk needn't worry about suffering King of Fighters 12 poster syndrome. If a rose by any other name smells as sweet, then Blaze Blue Continuum Shift is a pretty fragrant fighter. Or something like that. A 4.
Yes! 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 She's hit the nail on the head!
Out of 5. All things must end. That's true of life, relationships, and yes, video game franchises. Alas, the time has come to bid farewell to one of the most well-known, Mortal Kombat. Think Think of Mortal Kombat Armageddon for the PS2 as kind of a memorial service of sorts. Just like those, this game will cause you moments of bittersweet nostalgia, as well as excruciating anguish. Mortal Kombat Armageddon brings together nearly every character in the franchise's history, from everyone's favorite spear-throwing undead ninja to less memorable characters like Meat. Apparently, the world has become saturated with Mortal Kombat warriors, and their collective power threatens to bring about the end of days. They therefore must come together for one final epic showdown to determine who among them is the most mortal and the most combat-y. Oh, and to that one fanboy out there perched on the edge of his seat nervously sweating, yes, you can play as Goro. In fact, if you're a Mortal Kombat fanatic, the amount of characters at your disposal is gonna blow your mind in much the same way that Sub-Zero blew people's minds in the first Mortal Kombat, by tearing them out with the spine still attached. That might be a good thing, seeing as how you'd have to be lobotomized to not realize that the actual fighting in this game is nothing spectacular. There's still all the blood and gore you've come to expect, but the big disappointment is gonna come in the redesigned fatality system.
Killer fatality.
What this title lacks in new era fighting game flash, it makes up for in crappy extras. Conquest Mode is a Shaolin monk-style action game that introduces half-god Taven on a quest that brings him into conflict with numerous members of the Mortal Kombat universe. The problem is, you're forced to play this in order to unlock various hidden extras in the game. Sorta like going to a family member's funeral and having to listen to your Aunt Pam reminisce about the 40s. I mean, you couldn't care less, but hey, it's her husband's funeral. What are you gonna do? Then there's this, Motor Combat. It's exactly what it looks like. That's a shame. There's a certain amount of reverence that has to be given when something you love is leaving. With that in mind, I give Mortal Kombat a 21 flaming Hell Skull salute. But Mortal Kombat Armageddon by itself gets a 2 out of 5.
Everybody just relax. What may be the most anticipated game of 2008 is here. Yes, but that's no reason to get all excited and crazy. It's not like Super Smash Bros. Brawl is the most ridiculously extensive piece of fan service to ever hit a video game console, as well as a kick-ass fighting game. Well, that's exactly what it's like. Okay, get excited. Super Smash Bros. Brawl is, quite simply, everything anyone could love about Nintendo rolled into one ridiculously jam-packed game. From the huge character roster, to the inventive new stages, to the extensive adventure mode, it's everything Melee was, but bigger and better. The base game remains the same. 2 to 4 Nintendo characters beat the living hell out of each other. Knocking an opponent off screen will kill them and score you a point. Highest score or last man standing wins. The formula works and the balance remains as tight as always. Other than a slight speed reduction, this is the same gameplay that has made the Smash Bros. Series a perennial favorite. The one major addition is the Final Smash. Each character has a super-duper finishing attack that can be unleashed with the use of a Smash Orb. These attacks are over-the-top, deadly, and add a lot to a match. A well-timed Final Smash can change the course of a game. For the friendless, there's the added bonus of near-flawless online play. Brawl's most important new feature works like a charm, and is so lag-free, it's hard to tell you're not playing with people on your couch. Lurking on the solo side is the Subspace Emissary, an expansive adventure for 1 or 2 players that takes you through the rudimentary storyline of the game. This 8 to 10 hour romp feels a little like Kingdom Hearts with all the cameos and crossovers going on. Conveniently, playing through this mode will unlock all the characters by the end of the tale, which is good for people who don't want to play hundreds of versus matches just to unlock their favorite fighters. And of course you have the event challenges, classic mode, the stage editor, hundreds of trophies and stickers to collect, dozens of music tracks to unlock, there's enough content in Brawl to keep you busy for months, if not years. Clearly, even in this era of minigame collections and voting channels, Nintendo has not forsaken the hardcore. Super Smash Bros. Brawl opens 5 cans of whoop-ass out of 5.
There has been a lot of anticipation building up for this brawler. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is here, finally, and it's time to get it on. Now, for $15, you can head to PSN or Xbox Live Arcade and score yourself this updated version of the beloved Dreamcast game. For you newcomers, this is how it works. Each player chooses 3 characters who can hop in and out of the fight at any time, sometimes with dazzling results. Altogether, there is a cast of 56 characters, ones we can't lose with, and ones we can't win with. Hey, it wasn't called Marvel vs. Capcom New Age of Balance. Unless you're sitting across from Justin Wong, just pick your guys and have some fun with it. If you do find yourself sitting across from Justin Wong, maybe you should find somewhere else to sit. This latest version of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 handles modern TVs by widening the backdrops to fill widescreen. This is pretty much just aesthetic since the actual play area remains the same. There are also 3 detail settings. Crisp is the best. Classic is, well, classic. And smooth is somewhere in between. For all of you out there who like your graphics set to blurry. Online play is great. The lobbies and performance are all very similar to the awesome Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix, which in some ways is even more impressive considering how much stuff is flying around in here. While the single-player options are somewhat limited, it's still worth the cash. Let's all make a deal, though. Let's give Magneto, Storm, and Sentinel a rest, eh? Let's dust off those Shumagoraths and serve bots. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 gets a 4 out of 5.